Mark Daniel Nelson here with Make Mine Music. Thanks for watching today. Today I want to do another episode on what is in my rack. I got another email the other day asking me about these little buggers over here, and I thought I would talk about what I use them on. These are Audioscape Pultecs EQP A's. I've been a big fan of Audioscape stuff for quite a long time, 5.5 years or something like that. Chris does really good work. And the biggest thing I like to use them on is my mix, my master bus. Why do I use these over my API 5500? Well, to be honest, as a passive EQ, they just sound more, I don't want to use the word transparent, but more alive, more enhanced. So, give you a reference point. An API 5500 EQ to solid state EQ with the special 2520 op amp. Adds a lot of punch, has a lot of color. For certain type of music, I don't like to use the APIs depending on the color I want out of it. And what the Audioscape Pultec does is creates this enhancing, big, balloon, super smooth, creamy, open EQ. If I want really punchy, really fast, and zoned in sharp EQ, I'd use the API 5500. So depending on the music, I go between two different types of EQ on my master. I only set this and leave it. So these guys have been set like this for, I don't know, a year and a half or something like that. And what it is I have it on 60 hertz and about 2, and then 10K at about 5. Now, if you guys know passive EQs, you can crank them forever, and they feel like you're getting a small kickback versus like API or an SSL EQ where you just turn a little bit and it's very apparent what it's doing. Passive EQs aren't really like that. A lot of it's due to the passive design, the gain in it, a lot of stuff I don't really understand. And I don't have to because I'm the one making the music. And I don't really need to learn about that stuff. I just want to know what it's doing in the sense of how it's affecting my music. The 60 and 10, you are creating a smiley face kind of effect. And you have to mix into that to know what's going on. That helps you with getting the low mids kind of cleaner and stuff. But it does take out some of that on some of the instruments that is already apparent. So you got to keep a really cautious eye on everything. But I do feel like keeping it set like this and putting the mix through it enhances it more than it takes it away, which is everything that I do when it comes to using any kind of outboard gear or any kind of plugins is really does it add. Because if it's taking away anything, even if it's adding one cool thing, but it's taking away two cool things, never use it. I just don't like to subtract to add, if that makes sense. I have a song here, a good friend of mine, J. William Henderson, New York guy, amazing songwriter. I did an album with him 2 years ago, and I just want to play it. The song is called Take My Hand, and I'm going to play it without at first, and then I'll kick them in, and then I'll talk a little bit what it's doing.
Made my mistake, but I'm just a man. Seems my problems getting out of hand. But I'm doing my best.
Let's put the Audioscapes in.
The times are tough. My heart's begging my head, yes, we've had enough. Somebody take my hand.
And then let's take it out again.
My wet feet upon dry land. Make me an honest man.
What do we hear? What are we getting out of that? For this guy, why I use it is because it's kind of a transparent sound. It's very open. It's very clean, but it sounds huge when you put it in. Now I can pull it in and out and go a little harder so we can see what it's doing. I can kick it into 100. I can kick it into 12, but you can kind of hear what it's doing. If I cut down to 5, you're going to get a little more mid-range out of the mix. For this song, it probably wouldn't help. But in general, it might help on, let's say, vocals or a snare drum or a drum bus, stuff like that. But for right now, let's screw around with it a little bit.
The harder I search, the harder to find. And I guess that they're right. I've been down on my luck. Always had a tendency to self-destruct. Somebody take my hand, my wet feet upon dry land. Like being honest man. I guess it's how it goes. She hit it right on the nose. Darling, what are you?
Let's listen to drums and bass and see what that's doing on this Audioscape. Pretty fantastic EQ. Let's listen to the guitars and the string section just for fun and go in and out and see what we got. Now I know I'm going to want to hear more top end on this and see what it's adding. Now you can hear Jay's voice because he was playing guitar while we tracked. Think about this. If I take it out, it sounds good, but if you add the top end boost again, it just sounds sweet. It's super clean, but not harsh. Just open, very inviting, very delicate, not harsh. And that's key. You know, I'm using these mixes that are actually really well put together and don't need a ton of life to it, but that's the point. I'm trying to showcase what you're hearing with subtle pieces of gear. Now, if I'm using a plug-in EQ, like a Pultec EQ as a plug-in, it's going to do a very similar thing. So philosophy-wise, you could use any type of passive EQ, and it will do very similar things in plug-in land. If you have a good sounding balance, and you just want to enhance it a little bit, these little tools like this, or my TubeTech compressor, or my Teagler compressor, or my API 5500, are very subtle changes that are just enhancing it. So when you combine everything, you're getting like an extra 10 or 15%, which is absolutely huge, 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 big change. If you can't get to that threshold, you can't get above it, that 15% is everything. That's my story today. That's my little bit of piece of what's in my rack, what I've been using such for certain types of music, kind of acoustic instrument music, jazz, folk, orchestra stuff. This really rocks. Thanks guys for watching and have a great week.
I'm driving.